Today, I bring a multifunction filter pump FC700. Now it's an airflow, water flow filter system all in one. You don't need any kind of filtration systems. It's all built in here. Different layers, 1, 2, and 3. You could remove one if it's too high for your aquarium. You could actually have just these two pieces, the filter and the water pump with the air. And this actually circulates, and you could rotate this to different degrees. And I'm gonna show you. There's actually a suckle nozzle that actually sucks in the air and comes in here and it pulls it out. Now this needs to be below water, so if your fish tank is too high, you could remove the bottom one. There is a feature there that you can remove it. We're going to open it up and see what you can get. All right, so here it is once again. If you guys can see it, this is actually a pretty large filtering system. We're going to see how big from ground to ground, from top to ground. So it's going to be about close to 11.5 inches. So it's about almost close to 3 inches, but it's really long. So if you have an aquarium that doesn't fit this, maybe you want to remove a couple of these layers. So you can work with just the top, the bottom, and the third part too. So we're gonna look it up. They give you a couple of these clay balls. Instead, you can replace these with charcoal if you want for a better filtration system. Now they do have the suction cup system where it holds in the clip here, and then you got your extension, of course. So. And then on top of that, they give you the nozzle, the snarkle, if you guys can see that, where it actually sucks in the air from the outside. Recommendation: get one of those double systems that actually just sucks in but doesn't suck out, because you want to make sure you don't get any moisture in there. So if you guys own a couple, maybe you could put one on one end. So that's not bad. Put that into place. This is the bottom of it, if you guys can see it, and this is the center of it. So in between there is some sponges that you can do, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually gonna put a layer in here, one sponge in here, and then this on the top to keep it short. If you guys can see it, we're gonna put it a little shorter because I don't have a long fish tank. This is actually an extra filter. You could add it, and then later on you could just replace this filter. So once you do that, let me show you something in here. In here, this plate, this actually closes out here. So this actually goes in here, locks it in. This is where we're gonna put our clay balls in there. To carry good bacteria too, and to clean it up. This is what you have to replace once in a while. Also, you could take all the sponges, if you guys can see the sponge in there. You can remove the whole thing from the bottom and clean them up too once they get a little filter or they get any kind of bacteria. But you don't want to clean them too well because you need that good bacteria too for your fish tank. Now, a couple of entries on here on the side panels, if you guys could see it. It's pretty much open here in the front, in the back too, a little bit open in the back too. Bottom, I like that you could open it up and clean it up. All of the layers have the same feature where you can open it up and you can interchange them. They're pretty much the same system. It's just other than the bottom. So these two are like Lego systems. So if you guys can see, you could actually interchange this one to this one. It's pretty much the same thing. Anything goes on top of here. If you guys can see, this is where you're actually gonna pump all the water and suck all the air. This is where you actually suck the air from the atmosphere. All the air comes in here. This actually rotates left to right, and you can actually set it up here plus or minus to see the speeds, because sometimes this might be too much for the fishes, too much air, too much rotation. You want to keep the airflow, the water flow minimum, so it's a way to actually keep it clean. Now, currently I do have one right now that's bubbling too much and it is evaporating the water so much that I have to refill it every once a week. So this probably be a good thing to have. Recommendation, like I said, put an intake on, maybe just an intake, not an intake valve on the actual nozzle, because you want water not to go in there and suck in and mess up the engines in here, the motors in here. So you want to make sure you secure that part too. So right now we're gonna go ahead and place the clay balls in here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and fill the clay balls that they gave you in here, and these are a little messy, so maybe you want to make sure you have a proper area to set these up. So once we set these clay balls, we should be good. All right, so prior to the sponge, you got to make sure you plug this in here so the clay balls won't go anywhere. And this is actually rotates in there, and you have to rotate it, lock it in there. One of these extra sponges in there, and then we're going to top it up. So this is a short version of it. We're not going to use the whole entire thing. So if you guys can see, it's a shorter version of it. Actually, size I could replace it to 8 inches. Now this should fit in my fish tank properly. We're gonna set the bottom back in too, of course. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is where I'm talking about the intake valves in here. You want to make sure you could actually minimize it here and control the airflow in here. How much air is going to come into it, into the valve in here. Now, if you want to place it, it goes into here in this top area. Now, my recommendation is sometimes you melt it just a little bit, or you could heat it up, but I wouldn't do it now if it's new, you know, and then you just put it in together. Tape this to the side of the actual fish tank, because this is where all the air is going to be coming into the system itself. It's going to rotate, it's going to circulate, it's going to take all the valve, and then you could adjust it as you want, plus minus. Right now we have it at plus. We can minimize it, we can increase it. So it's pretty much how you control the valve. Now, setting up the back end, what you got to do is you got to put it backwards like this, all right, and click, and that's it. That's pretty much it. So you can always take it out, put it back in, take it out, put it back in, and that's how it hangs in there. If you guys can see, there's a perfect shape in there to hold it on. My water is a little dirty right now. I'm trying to clean it up as much as I can, but if you can see, the turbulence is really high, so I have to turn it down for them. Look at the fishes are struggling to swim. Just took out a lot of plants. That's why it looks like that right now. They're all sitting in that bucket there. Picked up all the soil and everything, so we're gonna have to wait until you see some more filtration cleaning. So let's go ahead and slow it down. See, look how dirty it is, guys, right now. I'm gonna leave it here running for a couple hours to see how much I could clean up of this, but unfortunately it's like my plants had all the grass and all the moisture and all the soil picked up and pretty much moved everything around. Look how dark it is right now. So see how well this thing works. See if it could clean up all the mess. Of course, I had to turn it down, the water. Like I said, the water was too high, so this guy's not struggling anymore. He's actually wants to get out and jump into my other fish tank. Water flow, guys, if you guys can see, the water flow is actually slow, but if I turn it high, look how high it goes. That's super high. So for moving water, salt water, that'd be a good thing to circulate the water. Right, after a couple hours, like maybe 2 or 3 hours, it's clearing up already. You can see I put my plants back in there. You can see it. I have all these snails, but look at this guy sucking the, he's a catfish, so it's natural for him to do that. But it's clearing up the water, the sediment's going away. We're gonna clean up that tomorrow and see how it looks. But so far, I'm looking at the results. It's pretty good now. It's getting better than before. So there's only been a couple hours, so we're gonna have to leave it overnight, of course, and come back tomorrow. And I put it in my plants already, so got rid of all the moisture and all the dirt they had. Hopefully it's gonna get a lot better. I turned it down because it's too strong, the current. 99.6 of you are not subscribers in my channel. I hope that the content helps you out and that you find it very useful, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe.